All right. Hey, everybody. So today, apparently because I'm an electrical contractor, I'm going to wire in a airbag system that has a switch for the inside of the truck, right and left. You can load and unload it. Has individual gauges, black and an orange. An air pump we're going to mount in a toolbox on the side. Festive Christmas colored tubing, so you can tell which side's which and which one's the feed and all that good stuff. And we gotta put all these lines on the back side of that switch. So it's going in that toolbox right there. We're gonna mount it up in the corner so it's out of the way of something that might be laying in here, but it keeps it cleaner, drier, and less issues. Run what we need to along the rail. But the whole point of this little situation is this box right here goes on, it mounts on the back of the battery box on those two pins right there, and then there's another terminal block that mounts on that one. And this one right here, let's turn a light on so we can see what we're looking at. This one right here is a terminal block, and it's just got a bunch of positive terminals sticking off the side of it for auxiliaries, adding things on. I believe that right there is a factory, the blue connector I believe is a factory connector for a snowplow, or I guess you could do pretty much anything else you wanted if you want to put a bale bed on here or something. So this box has about 10 relays and a bunch of fuses in it. And the dilemma is, when you read the book for this, it tells you to take this battery box out that sits right here on the passenger side, and then there's supposed to be a wiring harness that's labeled with red tape that's behind the battery box. That's not the case. There's also not a harness in here labeled with white tape that goes from the outside in this engine compartment to the inside kick plate on the passenger side for the upfitter switches. A jumper from 1 to 1. I didn't find it. I didn't tear the interior apart, but it wouldn't do me any good because I need this end of it. So the short version of this is that box right there, this one, has a pigtail hanging out of it that's wired back to itself, or taped back to itself, and it was with that same kind of rough colored friction tape that they used from the factory. That's what was wrapped around that, really tight. And with the way I had it sitting in here after taking it off, it just gave the appearance that that wiring harness went someplace. Well, after further investigation on the other side of the truck, because 2020s are on that side. This is a 2022. 2020s are over there, and the guy at the Ford dealer told me 2021s are over there on the passenger side, right under that hinge. Well, I didn't find anything over there. So I get back over here, I get started looking some more, and I notice this is back on itself. So I went ahead and opened it up, got the tail out, and sure enough, there's a tag on it that has all of the exact same color code wires that the owner's manual says is supposed to be there for the upfitter switches. It's got a few more than just the 6 from the switches, but we're only worried about the 6 from the switches. So the violet and orange is the output for the number 2 upfitter switch. That's mounted. These are all mounted in the console up above in the 2022s. I don't remember if the 21s or the 20s were up there or if they're down on the dash still, like all of the rest of them up to that point. But the purpose of this video are to let you know, so you hopefully don't have to hunt for this wiring harness that may or may not be labeled, and that up to this point they haven't found a Ford dealer that has even messed with these, so they can't tell me where they are. So I found them, and it's right there. So what I got is when I turn the key on and then I flip upfitter switch 2, this wire right here is energized with 12 volts. So it's going to energize this relay right here with that switch. And then we're going to run a power wire, the shorter one, right off of this terminal block, because it goes to a normally open set of contacts in this relay. The other side of it is going to run all the way back to that toolbox and tie to the air pump. And then this white wire runs from the other side of the coil in this relay, and it runs inside to that switch I showed you that has it's got a couple wires power to one side of each of those switches, and that's where this is going to run. So this relay switches when the upfitter switch gets turned on. This relay will switch, which will feed power to the switches on the inside and the pump. But the switch on the inside will energize this relay, where upfitter switch is only giving it power. So it can be switched. The switches inside will switch this relay to turn the pump on, and depending on which one of those switches you push is going to let the air from the pump through the appropriate side to air up the right side or the left side, or air it down. It'll air up or down. So after it's all done, then I'll show the testing of it. But I want to let you know where the upfitter switches are. And they're on the bottom of the relay box, mounted directly on the engine side of the passenger battery on a 2022 F250, probably an F350 also, but definitely a 250 four-wheel drive, 6.7 diesel. All right, well, I'm going to get back into this, and it's getting late, so this is probably going to be a finish tomorrow situation. So yeah, this is some of the other stuff I get into. Hopefully I don't have to ever do anything too much past this. I got to wire bale beds, and it sounds like I got one of those coming up this week sometime. So maybe we'll do a video on that too. Whatever wiring, I don't care. It all pays the same, right? Alrighty. Later, guys.